Hi everyone, hope you're keeping well. If we've not yet met, I'm Jo and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm going to share a mini project with you today, and it's mini in all senses of the word. It's dinky. It only uses a few materials and they are quick to make. Now I'm sure that there are lots of cross tutorials out there, but this is a super simple one and you'll have them made in no time. So I've made a gold one. I've also done a slightly smaller one in rose gold, and today I'm going to do one in silver for you. So we'll start off as normal looking at what you need, and then I'll show you step by step how to get one of these made. So we started looking at what we're going to need to make our little cross, and it's not a very extensive list. I've got 4 of my Swarovski crystal bicones here, and these are going to go on the very ends of the arms of my cross. I've got a little pile of silver, Duracoat silver, size 11 seed beads, and I've got 4 of the size 8 seed beads, and those 4 go in the center of my cross here. I've also got a little jump ring, and that's going to go at the top so that I can make my cross into a pendant, or I can add it into earrings. I'm using 6-pound fireline or wildfire. Your choice. I'm using the crystal colour for my silver, so the white. I've got my thread zapper to end off my threads, and I've got a size 10 beading needle to do all the work for me. So very few materials needed to create this little mini project. Before we get started, I just wanted to show you that my 2 crosses are slightly different sizes. So on the gold cross, the bottom and the top arm are the same length, 5 pairs of 11s, and the 2 side arms are 3 pairs of size 11s. And on the rose gold one, I've got the top arm and the 2 side arms the same, 3 rows of 11s, and the bottom arm 5 rows. There are no rules. You can make these as big or as small as you like. If you wanted to go even dinkier, try swapping out your 11s for 15s and your 4 8s for 4 11s. That will give you a much smaller cross again. So we're going to start in the center of our cross, and I've added 1/2 meter of wildfire onto my needle, and I'm going to pick up the 4 8s, and I'm going to move them down towards the bottom of my thread, just leaving a little tail long enough to tie off, and I'm going to pass the needle back through all 4 of those 8s. And this is where I'm going to tie the tail thread to the working thread. First of all, just using a simple overhand knot. Pull the threads tight, and I'm going to secure that with a surgeon's knot, which is you take your thread, your tail thread through the loop once, through the loop twice, and then pull your threads tight, ensuring that the knot falls between the 2 8s and you don't happen to snag an 8 in the meantime, so that your thread is over it. It's quite handy actually to have a little tail to hold on to at this stage. And I am going to try and just move it out the way, but I'm also going to pass the needle through the first 8 just to pull that knot into the bead a little. And you can see if I hold it like that, those 8s have formed their own little cross. Now we're going to move on to the 11s, and between each set of 8s we're going to add 2 11s. So pick up 2 and pass the needle through the next 8. And you can take your time here to get those 2 11s sitting neatly above the 2 8s, just like those are there. If I move my fingers round, you can see I've got 2 8s and then 2 11s sitting above. Doesn't matter if they're slightly wonky at this stage, because when we do the next round, everything will be pulled into place. So I'm going to pick up 2 more 11s, pass through the next 8. All the time I'm just moving my beadwork around in my fingers so that the gap between 2 8s is visible. Pick up 2 11s through the next 8. And I've got my last gap between 2 8s. I'm going to pick up 2 11s. I'm going to pass through the 8, and I want to pass through that first 11 as well, because I'm stepping up to the outside. So I'm coming through the 8 and through the 11. Right, now I'm ready to start one of my side arms, and we do herringbone stitch, and for me I find it easier to do herringbone stitch from the right to the left, so I'm just flipping my work over so that my thread is exiting the 11 on the right. And with herringbone we pick up 2 beads, and we're going to pass down through the size 11 seed bead on the left, so the thread is exiting the bead on the right and I'm coming down through the bead on the left. And we just get them to sit neatly on top of each other, and my thread will come straight across the base of those 11s, and I'm going to pass my needle up through the 2 11s on the right hand side. When you pull your thread through, as long as that thread is straight across the 2 11s at the base of that arm, it's going to be eaten up in those beads. You're not going to see the thread. Right, for my side arm I want 3 rows of 2, so I've got 1, 2, I need 1 more, and again I've picked up 2 and I'm coming down through 1 seed bead on the left, take my thread across and up through the 2 seed beads on the right. If you can't get through both at the same time, come through one like I just did, but then remember to go through the top one as well. And I'm ready to put my lovely sparkly end to the top, so I'm going to pick up one of my bicones, let that drop down, pick up 1 11, pass the needle back through the bicone from the top to the bottom, and now I'm going to pass through the seed beads in that left hand column because the thread is exiting the right. So I come through the seed beads on the left. There you have your first little sparkly end to one arm. We're now going to make the bottom arm of our cross. So we're going to pass through the 8 alongside and up through the 11 on the end. And just as we did the side, we're going to do the base, but I'm going to make the base a little longer. So pick up 2, come down through the 1 on the left. Get them to sit neatly and in the right position for you. You come straight across, you can see how it pulls them into shape and into the right place, and up the 2 seed beads on the right. Ready to pick up another 2. Down through 1 on the left. Thread straight across and up through 2 on the right. Make sure that your thread doesn't get caught around that side arm there, because you're going to have thread showing then. Pick up another 2, come down through 1, thread straight across and up through 2. I can see I've only come through 1 there, so I still need to go through the top one, just watching my thread, and up through the top one. And I want 1 more arm so that I've got 5 at the base. 1 more set of 2, pick up 2, down 1 on the left, thread straight across and up 2 on the right. And I'm ready now to do my little sparkly end of the crystal to the base. So I'm going to pick up another one of my bicones, drop it down, pick up 1 size 11 seed bead, go back through the crystal and down through all 5 of those size 11 seed beads on the left hand side. And I'm now ready to do the next side arm, so I need to pass through the next 8 and the next 11. So I'm going to pop this down for you now to have a look the right way around. So I've got one side arm and I've got the base. I now need to do another side arm exactly the same as this one before I come back down through the 11s, through that 8 in the middle and out through this 11 on the top to finish the top of my cross. So I'm going to do that side arm now exactly the same as the one on the left, and I'll come back to you to finish off the top. So I've got my 2 side arms, my long arm at the bottom, and I've made the arm at the top the same as the sides. So I've just added 1, 2, 3 pairs of size 11s. I'm going to zap my tail off at the moment because it is now getting in the way. So I'm just using my thread zapper, getting in as close as I can to the thread to get rid of that little tail. And I'm ready to add the top part of the top of my cross. And this time, as with all the others, I'm picking up one of my 4mm crystals. Let it drop down, but instead of picking up an 11 this time, I'm going to pick up my jump ring and pass back through the crystal and down through the 3 seed beads on the left of that top arm of my cross. Bit of fluff there. So you can see there's my jump ring ready to take a chain or whatever you're deciding to thread it onto, or an ear wire. And now all I need to do is end off my thread here. So I'm going to end it off with a double half hitch knot, which means I'm going underneath the thread between the 11s and that 8, and I'm forming a loop, pass the needle through the loop and pull tight. That is 1 half hitch. So to make it a double, you've got to do it twice. Catch the thread between the 11s and the 8, form a loop, pass the needle through the loop and pull tight, and that's your double half hitch. And I'm now going to pass through that 8, pulling the knot into the 8. And you can do that a couple of times if you want to be doubly secure that your knots aren't going to come undone. Now I'm going to use my zapper and just end off my working thread. And there you have it, a very simple, easy to make little cross. No fuss, very few materials required, and you can make them in any colours that you want. If you have any questions, please pop them in the comments below and I'll get to you as quickly as I can. If you make them, please post them on my Facebook page. I'd love to see your designs and what you've done. And if you have enjoyed this demo and you don't want to miss out on the next one, be sure to hit the subscribe button. It's free, doesn't mean you're paying any money any month. It means that when I upload new content, you will get a little notification the next time you log in to YouTube to say that I've loaded up a new demo for you. So thanks for watching and keep well. Bye.